Hey guys, Flamengo greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're just arriving, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below, turn on the bell notification, and leave that awesome like on the video. We're here directly from the New York subway right after we walked with the Brazilian fans. We had the green and yellow movement guys crossing the Brooklyn Bridge, right? And man, we walked at least about 3 kilometers, counting the outside part, the bridge, and what we walked to get here too, to the subway. We're in Brooklyn. I'm taking the subway now to the World Trade Center. And when I get there, I'm going to New Jersey, Newark, because tomorrow there's a training session for the Brazilian national team in Morristown. Look, we have some important information to share with you here. In fact, I got in touch with a source connected to Flamengo's management regarding the possible signing of a Portuguese defensive midfielder, right? Because this information came out that Flamengo could, right? First of all, Flamengo could sign a defensive midfielder, but our priority is an attacking midfielder. I'll even bring you the full report on this. It's about the attacking midfielder, okay? So, is Flamengo really prioritizing signing an attacking midfielder? Flamengo doesn't see itself signing a defensive midfielder or spending a lot on a defensive midfielder right now in this transfer window. And then I asked this source connected to the board if there was any chance Flamengo would sign this Portuguese defensive midfielder, you know, the one who plays for Sporting in Bragança, and the player is young actually, but we brought you this information earlier, that Flamengo had him on the list of possible signings, players who could be signed at the end of the season. That's what I was going to tell you. It's at the end of the season. So Flamengo does have him on the list of players being monitored. He's very important, highly rated by Flamengo's board, right? And then it's only at the end of the season that Flamengo should consider the possible signing of a defensive midfielder, or if Flamengo ends up moving Everton Araujo, okay? So the information is accurate. We had brought you this earlier, right, about the possible signing of this defensive midfielder from Sporting in Portugal. But the player only interests Flamengo for a future transfer window where Flamengo might sign the midfielder. Flamengo has identified a few names, that's it. Yeah, so we're going to catch this train now, but you guys stay with me, okay? This is the real information we have to share with you, that Flamengo already has some names under observation. Like this name, Bragança, a young player from Sporting, a midfielder from Sporting in Portugal. Look, we've already arrived here at Metrox. Let's try not to show too much advertising. There's a strong smell of weed in here. I can smell it. Someone was smoking here, man. Did you smell it too, Pedro? Yeah, a lot, right? A lot. Someone was getting high, was acting different. Yeah, someone was getting high. Someone here wasn't sober. So, my friends, let's go. You're walking around New York with me, creating content with me, right? We're always bringing all the information, the reality of things, right? Because we investigate the news. Pedro is here with me. He's seen how I do my research, right? Always bringing everything to you guys right on time. Check this out. We brought Movimento Verde Amarelo to you on our social media, and I'm going to share a bit of what happened here as well. But it's important for us to talk about this situation involving BAP and Leila Pereira. Man, I can't take this anymore. BAP, let me tell you something. BAP, I can't take this anymore. Let me tell you something, Leila. I can't take this anymore. These two love each other. It's not possible, man. I'm saying this now, not even as a Flamengo fan or a Palmeiras fan. It's like, man, this is annoying. You only think about each other. You only talk about each other. Enough. Hey, BAP, stop talking about her. Hey, Leila, stop talking about BAP, man. This is annoying. I can't take it anymore. So BAP, look, BAP went and got involved there. I already said, look, I'm going to say something here. If Leila wants to invest, if Leila's family wants to invest, yeah, at Vasco, after she leaves Palmeiras, she can do whatever she wants. She can do whatever she wants, but wanting to control, right? Because she can't, because, well, I'm going to bring here what BAP said, okay? Yeah, BAP threatened to sue, to take it to court, right? He said the following, regarding the Lamacchia family issue, the Saf and Vasco situation, it's not Flamengo being the bad guy, it's the law. The problem isn't that it's with Leila's stepson. Even though the law says that a stepson is considered family and it's not allowed. The problem is being married to your wife and wanting to marry another. According to the civil code, you need to separate from the first one. You can't have a foot in each club. Yeah, it's still family. She leaves the club she's in now and joins another one tomorrow. Or wait until the term ends and in October next year, join Vasco. You can't have a foot in both camps. It's against the law. So I understand what he's saying, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. If she wants to make that move later, fine. Before that, it's really complicated, right? She's saying here, BAP continues, it's not BAP, it's not the evil Flamengo, it's the law. If they push this too hard, we'll go to court again, because the law is meant to be followed. For Rio football, having a strong Vasco is exceptional. Vasco is a major Brazilian club and should be in a better position. This isn't good. All right, okay? Yeah, he was still like that, honest, talking about the issue about Vasco's situation, right? About the importance of Vasco being in a good place. So, my friends, Leila answered, and I'll tell you, I can't stand this thing of Leila talking anymore. Then BAP, forget about it, man. You know I always praise your actions, the management, spectacular management, but just forget about that. Let's win championships, let's play ball and forget about it. Yeah, Leila responded, if the president of Flamengo keeps making insinuations and false accusations against me, I, Leila Pereira, will take legal action against him so that he has to prove what he's saying. I don't accept that he keeps involving me in matters with which I have no connection. But, hold on, it's the Lamacchia family. He's making it clear that you are married to Lamacchia, so it's the Lamacchia family, okay? I stand by what I think. If you're not at Palmeiras after that, you can do whatever you want. He's Flamengo's president, so he should focus on his club. Is this because he's afraid of me? Of course not. He's just marking his territory. Is it fear of Palmeiras? No, since they just won 2 titles against Palmeiras. That's not possible. And he's not talking about Palmeiras, Leila. He's talking about Vasco. If you had to say he's afraid of anyone, it would be Vasco, but that's not really true either. It's not that either, okay? I've said it many times. I'm the president of Palmeiras. My term goes until December 2027, and I have absolutely nothing to do with Vasco. The family he's talking about is over there. I know that BAP can't wait to see me out of Palmeiras. No, on the contrary, he's upset that you're going to Vasco. He's not upset that you're staying at Palmeiras. That's another misreading, Leila, right? Another mistake. Yeah, but for that to happen, he'll have to wait until December 27, and then she makes it clear that in December 27, she's leaving to do what? Huh? Maybe to take over another club, maybe even Vasco itself. Honestly, I think it's a big mix, this craziness, all this back and forth. Yeah, let's wait for things to happen to see if she does that while still president of Palmeiras, then it's really wrong if her family does it. So I don't think it's a good idea the way things are going, right? Well, we have to congratulate Flamengo's under-15 team. They beat Ajax to become champions in the Netherlands, right? Diego Ribas' son. Diego Ribas' son was the standout in the final, and Flamengo won the title at the International Marvel Tournament under-15 in the Netherlands, beating Ajax 1-0 in the final. The winning goal was scored by Valmir, assisted by Davi Moura, son of former midfielder Diego Ribas. What a show, huh, guys? What a show. Flamengo, International under-15 champions against Ajax from the Netherlands, and Diego Ribas' son with the assist. This is what needs to be talked about. This is what's important for us to bring up. Look, we had President BAP revealing on the Charla podcast that Danilo and Luiz Henrique have been on Flamengo's radar for about 2 years. BAP confirmed on the Charla podcast that Danilo and Luiz Henrique are on Flamengo's radar. According to him, Flamengo has the financial means to go after and compete for both. But the biggest challenge is convincing them to return to Brazilian football, since one of them wants to play in England. Quote, they are two exceptional names. Luiz Henrique has been on our radar for 2 years. Danilo is the same case. If we want Luiz Henrique, we like him and Danilo. Why wouldn't Palmeiras see the same thing we do, right? I'm saying that, making it clear that Palmeiras must also want them. They would fit in really well with any team in South America. It's not enough to just want them, right? Luiz Henrique should be a starter on the Brazilian national team. Look at BAP talking. Same goes for Danilo. As a fan, I'm sure they are players who would add a lot to Flamengo. At what cost? At what price? Do they even want to come now at 24 years old, right? I can say that he wants to play in England. What he'll earn there is very similar to what I would pay. But now how do you make the player want to come to Brazil? There's no way. So, for God's sake, convince the players. That's it. Look at Mbappe there. It's amazing, right? Amazing. Assuming that Flamengo wants Danilo, wants Luiz Henrique, and made it clear, right, that these two would earn the same as they would abroad to play for Flamengo. Look how cool, look how amazing this information is. Now I'll leave you here following Movimento Verde e Amarelo, our friend Lula da Raça organizing. It was crazy. It was awesome. Check out my footage here. The green and yellow movement has some cool things on the Brooklyn Bridge.
Look here, look here, look here, look here. We are here at the Brazil event on the Brooklyn Bridge. On the Brooklyn Bridge. Look at that. Check it out. We arrived here at a magical moment here at the Brooklyn Bridge with the Brazilian fans.
Look at this.
Look how awesome this is.
Hey Lula, damn, choose! There's Lula from the crew, my brother leading the way. Damn, Lula from the crew is leading, guys. Check this out, my brother. This is historic.
Aí, irmão, isso aqui é loucura.
Mano, já tô sem voz já há 3.
Gabriel, 3 days without a voice, syrup, low spirits. There's no way. The energy is just too high. You know, I came here to find you because I made a song. We already played it back there. People liked it. It's fast. Let's go perform it. Come on, drumline. I want you cry, Argentinian. The dream is over. I am Brazil. I am your nightmare. Cry, Argentinian, the dream is over. I'm Brazilian, I'm gonna dream. Cry, Argentinian, the dream is over. People liked it, people liked it, people liked it. Cry, Argentinian, the dream is over. Cry, Argentinian dream. Galera gostou da música. A gente trouxe aqui. Falei com o Lula da Raça, que é meu parceiro.
Ele gostou. Essa é boa, é pra empolgar a galera, é pra empolgar a galera.
Cry Argentinian, Lula da Raça, my buddy liked it. This one's good for hyping the crowd. Argentinian dream, the dream. Cry Argentinian, the dream. Let's go. Argentinian, the Argentinian dream, dream. Cry Argentinian dream, cry. Pretend days.
Tá bom.
1,000 goals, 1,000 goals, 1,000 goals, 1,000 goals. Only Pele, only Pele. Look at this view, guys. Look at this view. Look at Raiza with Lula there. Damn, this view, man. From Maradona high. 1,000 goals, 1,000 goals, 1,000 goals, goals high. Look at this view, guys. Look at this view. Look at Raiza with Lula there. Damn, this view, man. Goals, 1,000 goals, 1,000 goals. Goals, 1,000 goals. Only Pele, Maradona high. 1,000 goals, 1,000 goals, 1,000 goals.
E aí, Raiza, tá curtindo, tá curtindo?
Pô, mó festão, né? Absurdo. Torcida brasileira tá de parabéns, galera aí do MPA. Muito show de bola.
Look at this, guys. Just look at this.
Stay calm. Don't jump. You can't stop the music. Just go for it. Cry, Argentinian. Keep dreaming. I'm Brazilian. Your nightmare. Your nightmare. I'm Brazilian, your nightmare. Cry, Argentinian, dream for me. I'm Brazilian, your nightmare. Cry, Argentinian, dream for I'm Brazilian, your nightmare. Cry, Argentinian, dream for me. I'm Brazilian, your nightmare.
How is it? How is it?
Did you score another one, huh?
People have to learn.
People will learn, but you scored again.
Dropped it. But this one is awesome. Another one I scored, huh? Go again.
Go again, tell him that one.
I created it and gave it to Lula. Cry, Argentinians, dream.
It's over, cry. Argentinian, really cry.
I'm Brazilian, your worst nightmare.
Seu terror.
Cry, Argentinian.
Chora,
Me.
acabou.
Brazilian, your terror. Cry, Argentinian, dream of me, I am. Your terror. Cry, Argentinian, dream of me, I am Brazilian. Cry, Brazilian, your terror, speak love. I'm leaving because the police are watching me.
Look, I'm here with Pacheco abroad, man. Pacheco, talk to me. We're in a place here that's very sad. We've arrived at a place here that's very, very sad. We just showed the images of the green and yellow movement to everyone. Yeah, I even get a little emotional. Let's show it here to everyone. Look at this. This touches a lot of people, right? No, this really moves you, man. The first time I came to this place, it was silence for me. The silence here is unbelievable. But these are the pieces, right, from the World Trade Center, right? It's impressive here. The silence here is deafening. Man, this is just too sad, guys. For those who don't know, this is where the World Trade Center building was. There's a hole there, right? There's an empty space there at the World Trade Center. which is, it's empty in our hearts. And now I'm going to say the following. You can see there from the buildings that are still standing among them, there are some buildings still standing here and falling one after the other. Remember how they kept falling one after the other? Isn't that right? You see there in the middle, look, the older one, right?
Exactly, the oldest one there, the one that kept part of the structure, and they built it.
No, I'm talking about that one over there. Look, that one? No, over there, between the buildings, the three buildings, this is the new tower. That one survived, or was it built later? I'm not sure. No, it wasn't built later. It's smaller, isn't it? What I'm saying is there were nearby buildings that were collapsing too.
A building fell, and nearby small buildings collapsed too, right there.
Look, that's the one I'm talking about. It's right there, see? See, that's the old building.
That one.
The smaller one over there, and all of this here, this is all here as a memorial, right? And it's a subway station, it's a station.
There's a subway in memory, look.
The towers. Guys, it's really sad to imagine that the Twin Towers were here. The towers, 25 years ago, all of this collapsed here, and tomorrow is my birthday. And this place has always meant a lot to me. I really liked it here in New York, and I had the dream of seeing the Twin Towers, and I used to say, I want to go there one day to spend my birthday in New York and visit the Twin Towers. I'm here at the World Cup to visit New York on my birthday, but unfortunately, the Twin Towers aren't here anymore. And that's the space with the music. Deafening, right? It's the deafening silence there as we're arriving at the place. No, we're going around the outside here, right? At the tribute to the victims of the World Trade Center. There's an empty space there where there's water flowing down. In that space that looks like kind of, how should I say it? To symbolize infinity, right? The hole that was left there from that building. Yeah, these are the new buildings. The new buildings, they're super high tech, really new. And over there, we just got here now. Check this out. Look at this. Check this out. We've arrived at the site. It's like a cascade, right? A waterfall into infinity, into nothingness, into nothingness. That's the feeling it gives you, isn't it? It's a hole where two giant buildings once stood, a hole that leads to nothingness.
Nothingness, that leads to infinity. And here, when there's a white rose on top, it's because here are the names of all the victims. On these stones, when there's a white rose up there, it means it's that person's birthday on that day. Yeah, for me, this place is very sad.
Yeah, my friends, I'll say goodbye here. Look, here's the subway. There's a restaurant, there's Italian food and so on. This is the subway where it all happened. The subway at the World Trade Center. Man, it's spectacular. Yeah, they turned something that was a tragedy into a mall, a beautiful place. And you can see all the flags of the countries here. Look how cool, all the flags here, amazing. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a like on the video. We're in this together. Thanks.